Descript is not for everyone. That's not clickbait and is not a trick. Now, I don't work for Descript, but I do have a business where I teach it. So I benefit if more people use it. More users means more students for me. That's my bias up front. So if you and I got on a call and you said to me, give it to me straight, is Descript the right tool for me? The very first thing I'm going to ask you is, what are you making? If you have advanced requirements like color grading, motion graphics, and compositing, then Descript isn't a good fit. It's not a Hollywood level tool. And this might surprise you, but I'd argue that even if you're making TikToks, Descript is not the best tool for you. You'll want to go with something that can give you those fast-paced, high dopamine type of edits. And Descript is not that. But if you're making talking head videos for a course or YouTube, podcasts, anything heavily spoken word based, I don't know of anything better than Descript. The next question I'm going to ask you is, what's your budget? Descript is not cheap, and like all software, it's going to get more expensive over time. You can count on that. So my recommendation here is, before you go and drop $300 on an annual subscription, start with a month and start on the lowest tier plan. That'll give you enough time to get familiar with everything, test out the features, and if you like it, then commit to the full year. But look at it this way. You wouldn't marry someone on the first date. So start small, then if it's the right fit, get married. And if it's not, break up and date someone else. The next thing I'm going to ask you is, have you edited before? If you're already using something like Final Cut or Resolve or Premiere, Descript might be confusing for you. I have the advantage of being a Descript native. This is the only tool I've learned or used, so it just makes sense to me. But it'll be a learning curve if you're coming from a traditional tool. Here's how I explain it to people. Right now, I'm learning Spanish. I'm recording this video right now from Mexico City. Spanish isn't objectively easier or more efficient than my native language of English. But right now, it feels to me like it's a super clunky, inefficient, and slow language. Like, does everything really need to have a gender? And is it really necessary to have 100 different ways to conjugate a verb? But to a Spanish speaker learning English for the first time, it's equally difficult, if not more so. English is a bizarre language. The point is, if you're coming from a tool you know well, it's gonna be rough at first to rewire your brain and gain fluency in that new language. So take that into consideration. If you're coming from another tool and nothing else I've said so far has made you think Descript is the right fit, then stick with that other tool. And the last thing I'm gonna ask you / warn you about is, how flexible are you? Because Descript changes all the time. If you're like me, that's a giant positive. I'm the kind of guy who pre-orders my electronics before they're released. I try all the beta features. I update everything the second I can. I love the cutting edge of tech. Updates are like Christmas gifts for me, and Descript is like Santa because they roll out changes weekly. I'm talking about buttons changing names and position, and things are constantly being added and taken away. What that means is you're always going to be on the cutting edge with this tool. You're always going to have the latest AI features. But the flip side of that is that those same features might not work as expected. So if you're the kind of person who thought Windows 97 was peak computing and you ask, why did they keep making new ones? And you're the type of person who's going to drive your truck until the wheels fall off. First of all, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't have that in my personality. I love change, but I respect you. And I'm telling you, you're going to hate Descript. So let me know in the comments, what are you making? What's got you on the fence about Descript? Did this video answer your questions, or is there something you're still wondering about?